everyone. Today we are going to be creating these fun Hoppy Mother's Day pictures. So as you can see, we are going to be creating a cute little frog. We're going to have a nice background for it, and we're of course going to have our message which says Hoppy Mother's Day. It's a little play on words, so it sounds like Happy Mother's Day. All right, friends, so to start our project, the first thing you're going to need is a white piece of paper and a pencil. Now, it's up to you which direction you want your paper to go. When I make this project, I like to go horizontally, so my paper is going to be wide. That's because I like to create a little bit of background stuff on the sides. If you want your paper to be vertical though, so that it's a little taller, that is perfectly fine. But as I said, today I'm going to be drawing horizontally. So to start for our frog, we are going to be creating his head starting in the middle of the paper. The reason I'm starting in the middle is we want to leave room up here at the top for our Mother's Day message. So in the middle of our paper, I'm going to start creating his head by making an oval shape. So the frog's head's going to be a little bit wider than his body is going to be. So I'm going to start by creating what I call a sad face curve. Then once I have my sad face curve, I'm going to connect with a happy face curve, but instead of being super pointy on the ends, I'm going to kind of make them a little bit more round. So it should come out looking kind of like a football shape. So then I'm going to be creating the frog's eyes. So frogs have these nice big eyes. So I'm going to start by making these big half circles on each side. And I'm going to overlap onto the head just a little bit. Okay, so now that I have those, I'm going to go ahead and erase the line that I overlapped. And then I'm going to create the inside parts of the eye. So this part is going to kind of be like the eyelid part. And then I'm going to create a big circle. Then I'm going to place another circle. And then just a little small circle right here at the top. That's going to be my little white part. And then I'm going to color this in as the pupil for the eye. And if you have a different way of making an eye, that is great. If you want to make cutie eyes, you go for it. This is your project. And then repeat the same step on this side. Once I have my frog's eyes, I want to then decorate the face before I move on to the body. So I'm going to be making my frog a nice happy frog. So I'm going to make some little lines here and then make a nice big smile. And then just two little lines for the nose. Now you can also add some other things onto your frog if you wanted to add like eyelashes or a bow. If you're turning this into like a mama frog, you can totally add those extra details. So for the body, as I said, the body's going to be a little bit not as wide as the head. So I'm going to start by making just two little lines here so I know how wide I kind of want it to be. And I'm going to be making a oval shape. Okay, so now that I have my oval, I'm going to go ahead and create the legs for the frog. So our frog is going to be seated, so I need to make the front legs, and then I'm going to be making the back legs coming out. So to start for my front legs, on this one side, kind of in the middle here to this side, I'm going to make a line that kind of curves and comes down. And then once I get past the bottom of the belly, I am going to be making 3 little toes for his hands. And they've got those kind of webbed hands. So I'm going to be making it look kind of like little triangles, but they're going to be a little bit more rounded. And then I'm going to bring it back up and then kind of just go right to the curve of where I had the body. And then I'm going to repeat the same step on this side. And then of course where I have those overlapping lines, I'm going to erase. Now for my frog's back legs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create what I like to call a half of a heart shape. So we're going to come out and then down and back in. So it's going to look like that kind of little leg bent there because frogs have those long back legs for jumping. So since it's bent, I'm going to draw a little line to give the illusion that it's a bent leg, and then I'm going to make his back foot, and I'm going to make him the same kind of shape, just maybe a little bit longer than how I did the front. Okay, so now he's got his front legs and his back legs. If you wanted to add them extra details, I can even draw little lines in between to kind of show the webbing of the toes. That's only if you feel like adding that. Okay, I'm also going to add a little small kind of oval in the middle of his belly, because I'm going to make, when I go to color it, I'm going to make that inside part a little bit lighter than the rest of his body, kind of show that it's the underbelly there. Okay, so now that I'm done with my frog's body, as I said, you can add other details onto it if you want. But now I'm going to work on the background. So my frog is going to be in a pond. You could make your frog on the side of a pond. You could make them in the pond. You could make them sitting near a flower. Guys, again, whenever we're doing these art projects, the details are totally up to you of what you think your picture should look like. So as I said, for mine, he's going to be in a pond. So I'm going to start by making a wavy line. So since my frog is in the water, I'm going to be creating him sitting on a lily pad. So to make a lily pad, it's basically just a really long oval shape, and then there's like a little notch, like a little triangle kind of taken out of the center. So I'm only going to be drawing part of the lily pad because remember, my frog has to look like he's on top of it. So we're going to use some of that overlapping again. So I'm going to start on this edge, and I'm going to make a long oval. And then once I get kind of here towards the middle, I'm going to make a little triangle shape so that it looks like that kind of cutout part of the lily pad. And then I'm just going to continue back around to finish off the oval. So there is my frog on his lily pad. Then I can add some other details into my water. So I'm going to be making some more lily pads with some flowers on them. So remember, if you are creating anything towards the front of your picture, things are going to look a little bit bigger. So if I'm making other lily pads, I need to make them nice and big. If they're further back, those would get a little bit smaller. That just gives us the perception of depth, okay? So I'm going to make some lily pads here going around my frog. Okay, now that I have my lily pads, I'm going to add some little flowers into the middle of them. So we're going to go really super simple on the flowers, my friends. All you are going to need to do is create a U shape that overlaps onto the lily pad. So again, we're going to need to do some erasing for those lines that I overlap. And then at the top of the U, I'm just going to make a little zigzag line of about 1, 2, 3. Just a really, really simple looking little flower for the top of the lily pads. Okay, now that I have my lily pads drawn and my flowers added, I can add some other details into the water. Like I'm gonna add a couple lines to show maybe some movement of the water. I could make some little half circle lines kind of around my lily pad to kind of give the illusion of maybe they just jumped onto it, and so it's created that kind of ripple effect in the water. So just a few extra details there. For your background, guys, also I want to mention I've had kids in the past make other frogs in their background as well. So if they made this like the represent the mama frog, then they might have made themselves as a frog and their siblings as a frog. So they made it kind of like a little family. And that's a sweet idea that you could do. Since it's a celebration of Mother's Day, you can make your family of little frogs. So again, your ideas and how you want to make your picture are awesome. All right, for the top, my friends, we are going to be putting our Mother's Day message. So as I said, we are going to be saying Hoppy Mother's Day. So it sounds like happy, but it's hoppy because of our frog. So I'm going to start here at the top, and I'm just going to be doing, like I did on this example, just my regular stick letters, how I would normally write something, and then I've just kind of drawn over it and then made color around it to decorate it. If you want to get fancy and create block letters or bubble letters, if you know how to do that, you can do that as well. But for me, as I said, I'm just going to do regular stick letters. So Hoppy is Hoppy. Then we have Mothers, Mother. And then we do apostrophe S, and then Day, Day. And I'm going to add a little exclamation point on the end. Perfect. So then you can also add other messages if you want. If you want to put an I love you or some hearts or a special message to your mom, go for it. Now from here, my friends, you are going to go ahead and Sharpie, or you can outline with a black marker or crayon. The reason I like to do this is it just makes it pop and kind of stand out when you have Sharpie kind of covering over your pencil lines, because then when you go to color, those kind of outlines aren't going to get lost. Then once you have outlined it, the next step is to color. Now guys, you can do color however you like. Crayons, markers, colored pencils, watercolors if you have them. I did a mix of crayon and watercolor. So I did crayon for like my frog and my flowers and lily pads and my little Mother's Day message. And then I just took watercolors in 2 different colors, blue, and did the sky and then the water. So again, my friends, however you like to color this or whatever materials you have available are awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I hope your mothers all have a very happy Mother's Day and a Hoppy Mother's Day as well. Hope you enjoyed and have fun.